Hi everyone, it's Jess with Kinder Stampo, and I know it's been a little while since I've done a tutorial on how to make a um, paper flower. So today I was kind of just playing with some stuff, and I ran into a flower that I thought was really pretty. It looked like a kind of like a tattered rose or something to that effect, and I wanted to see if there was a way that I can make it with paper. So I went and I looked at my punch collection, and I found these shapes right here, which I think worked really well. So this is what I came up with. It looks kind of like those curly rose blossoms, and you guys can see all of the texture detail on here. It's just really pretty, and when I bring it down, you guys can see all of the dimension. So really fun and easy flower that you can use on any of your projects. So I'm going to go ahead and put it down, show you what are the products that I used to make this, and then I'll show you really quickly how to make it. So the punches you're going to need are the McGill Floriana paper punch. So it's basically a 5-petal punch. You're going to also need the McGill Starburst punch, and you will also need the Sun Punch. And these are pretty interchangeable. I think now that I've played with one of them, I think if you have a 6-petal punch or a different kind of 5-petal punch, it will work fine too. But for now, these are the ones that worked for this project. You're going to need some kind of ink to distress your edges, and it's just to give it a little bit more detail. For this particular one, I distressed it with um, Tim Holtz Right Persimmon, but I know that this is one of those limited edition colors, so I wanted to do one that was a little more distressed. So the one I'll show you now is going to be distressed with distressed ink in black soot. You're going to also need a distressing tool. You're going to need some kind of liquid. You can use water to soften the paper, but I wanted to have some glimmer on it, so I'm using the Lindy's Starburst stains, and this one is Creme Brulee Cream. It's really pretty because it's a neutral color, but it has a lot of shimmer, so it'll work perfectly with any color that you choose to use. So we'll use this one today. We're going to go ahead and use our mat, my favorite Westcott scissors, and we'll use some of the McGill tools. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'll go ahead and move this over to the side. And this is just a spray that I found. I just wanted you guys to see the contrast, so I had it on here. We don't need that for this particular project. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take the 2 Floriana petals, and you're only going to need 2 for this project. Like I said, it's really quick and easy. So you're going to go ahead and dip your tool into the distress ink and just kind of rub the tool on the edges of the petal. There is no right or wrong way of doing this. You're going to have a little bit more, a little bit less on the petals, but that's okay because in nature, no 2 flowers are the same, so that actually adds to the character. The next one, we're going to go ahead and do the same thing. And just so that you know, this paper that I'm using is textured basil paper. I think it works really well. It's a thicker paper. It's a little bit easier to manipulate because the fibers are really thick. And it'll allow you to do the technique really well. So I went ahead and did those 2. And I'm going to move this over to the side, and I'll show you exactly how I got this really curly effect on these petals. So now I'm going to go ahead and take my Lindy Starburst stain in Creme Brulee Cream, and I had already shook it up, so I don't really need to shake it up. But one thing that I love about these sprays is that no matter how you shake them, you're not going to get a clogged sprayer. It always works perfectly, and the effect is gorgeous. So just go ahead and do a couple of spritzes. You don't need to oversaturate it, but like I said, this paper is so wonderful for this type of technique that it doesn't matter if you overspray or underspray because it's not going to ruin the paper. So I kind of just turn it around and tap it off and do the same thing to the other. I always keep a little piece of steam binding around. That's what I use to kind of clean up my desk when I don't have a napkin, and then I can always dry this up and use it on a project. So now you see that now it's kind of naturally curling. What you're going to do is you're going to kind of hold the petal in your fingers between the center, and then you're just going to take this one, and believe it or not, all you do is going to crumble it up. think of it as if you're just crumbling up a piece of paper. So you know how we would take just a piece of paper and just take it in our hand and crumble it like this? Try to use that same technique to just crumble this, but also keeping in mind that you're kind of holding the center, because I think if it's your first time and you're trying, you don't want to go ahead and rip it. But like I said, this paper works really, really well for this, so you don't have to worry about it ripping. One thing that I forgot to do was that you want to snip the petals a little bit towards the center. So I would say probably about 1/4 of an inch more, so that allows the petals to bend a little bit better. So you can do it before or after. It doesn't make a difference because, again, this paper is very pliable. So we'll do this one ahead of time. So about 1/4 of an inch towards the center. You're going to do these in between each of the petals, just like that, okay? And then we're just going to keep crumbling up the petals like this. And you see you're going to get like these little, I know it's really weird, but of course I have kids, so this is the first thing that comes to mind. They look like little spitballs. So if that helps you to envision what it should look like, go right ahead. Think of them as little spitballs. So you're just going to curl them up like that. And if the paper starts to dry up on you, don't worry about it. You can go ahead and wet it again if you wish, but again, there's no right or wrong way of doing this. You're basically just crumbling up the petals. And then we'll do the same thing to the next one. Just crumble them up towards the center, being careful that you don't tear the petal off. But again, this paper works really, really well, so I haven't experienced any torn petals yet. And I'm not very gentle with it, as you can see. So there we go. That's the 4th petal, and now we're going to do the 5th. Okay, so now we have these. And then now what I do is I go ahead and I kind of open it up. Just softly opening it up with my fingers and kind of making sure that I'm not over opening it, because keep in mind you want it to have that tattered, distressed look, so that it looks like the petal should naturally be that way. So just kind of hold it from the center and then loosely pull the petals open. So there goes the first one, right? And then we'll do the same thing to the second one. Just loosely opening it up like that. And just keep going all around. Okay, so now we have these 2 petals that look like this. At this point, you may want to dry it, so I'll go ahead and show you really quick. I just kind of dry it a little bit. And at this point, believe it or not, the way that the heating tool works, it actually adds to the texture. So it may even make it a little bit more crumbly, which is perfect. That's exactly what you want it to do. You're going to go ahead and take one of your tools, and you're just going to kind of curl it in the center so that the petals prop up. So you see, now they kind of look like a cup. So this is just a cupping technique that you use for making flowers. And again, you're just going to curl it up so that it pops up like that. And now we'll put these 2 over to the side. And then just to save a little bit of time, I went ahead and inked some ahead of time. So you're going to use 4 of the sun punches and 2 of the starbursts. So here are 4 of the sun. And then there's 2 of the starbursts. And what I did was I just went ahead and I curled them ahead of time as well. So now, really simple. Now we can move on to the assembly. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the first little cup and we're going to add a little bit of adhesive in the center. I love using Helmer's Quick Dry Adhesive because it works really, really well. And what we're going to do is we're just going to mash it up. So again, we're going to mash up the center so that it forms kind of like a little cone like this. So I like to roll it in between my fingers. I think that gives me the best effect. So there goes my first little cone. The next thing we'll do is, again, just kind of keep layering. So we'll put, again, a little bit of adhesive on the bottom, like that. Take our little cone, put it in the center, oops, and then mash it up again. So we're basically mashing up all of the layered suns on top of each other. And this will just give it really good dimension in the center. And again, I just kind of roll it up. Take the third sun punch and do the exact same thing. You're kind of just wrapping it around and then mashing it up so that the adhesive will hold really well together. And that gives you like this kind of, I don't know, it looks like a bud. It's like a flower bud in the center. Really, really pretty. I love the way it comes out. And then again, put some adhesive on here. It doesn't matter whether you put it directly on the little bud or you put it on the base. Either way, it works the same. It's just a personal preference on how you do it. And again, just kind of fold it out so that all the petals are kind of together. So now you're going to have something that looks like this, right? Okay, now we're going to go ahead and layer our petals. So we're going to take our first petal and put a little bit of adhesive like this. And then we're going to take our second petal and we're going to lay it on top of here. And we're going to just make sure that we're alternating it so that the petals are not on top of each other. They're kind of in between each petal. So now you see we have this that looks like that. Then we're going to take our little starburst, put again a little bit of adhesive, and put it right in the center. I like using my finger for this. You can always use a tool. This actually helps to kind of give it a little bit more dimension. So it is probably easier to do it with a tool than with your fingers. But as you can see, I don't have a problem getting my hands dirty. So that works as well. And then again, put the other center, the other starburst right in the center as well. So now we're kind of just giving it depth, giving it layer, adding more dimension to the flower. And then we have something that looks like that. And then the very last thing is to take another little drop of adhesive and take our little cupped suns and put it right in the center. So there we go. So you see, now you have this really beautiful flower. I know this one is really, really grungy looking. It's probably not everyone's style, but I love this color because it just looks really, really distressed. But again, you can get the very same technique by just using a lighter staining, and you can see all of the details in the center. So I hope you guys enjoyed this quick tip on how to make a tattered flower, and I look forward to sharing new ideas with you really soon. Thanks for watching.